You were the youngest person to become a billionaire at 20, right?
What can a 24-year-old billionaire possibly have to tell you about investing? So, I've been talking to you a while now about investing and just how long it takes for you to really see the results of what you've invested in. So many of us don't have the time, the patience, or the level of understanding to know that you have to consistently, over time, invest in something in order to receive the results that you want, to be wealthy. What do you think that a 24-year-old billionaire can tell you about investing? What do you think that he's going to say that's different to what you've been hearing before? I want to introduce you to someone if you haven't heard of him before. Meet Samir Vasavada, a young billionaire who left school early and built a $1 billion AI company.
Samir is the youngest founder of a billion-dollar company. He founded it at the age of 16 and it got a billion-dollar valuation when he was 20.
Samir trusted his vision very early on and bet everything on artificial intelligence, AI, and grew Vise into a company that's transforming wealth management. What he has done is pretty amazing because he started his first business in his teens, early teens at that. And one would think that coming out of his rule book, there would be some things that you may not have heard at all. Let's listen to what he has to say.
It's interesting. You're talking about this like a financial advisor. You understand the market. How did you learn the craft of investing without a college degree, without going to high school?
So I spent a lot of time reading. I spent an unbelievable amount of time reading. I spent an unbelievable amount of time watching YouTube videos. I was lucky that I grew up watching YouTube videos, some yours actually, and just trying to understand how does the markets work? How do advisors think? How do you just all these interesting kind of historical backdrops to the industry. How has the industry evolved? But the most important way I learned, and the way I learned best, is just talking to people. Learning from all these different advisors, watching them work. The most interesting way to actually learn from someone isn't just to talk to them, but it's to shadow them, it's to observe them. So I actually do this with new hires, which is instead of just trying to teach them things, I just have them follow me around and shadow me for a month, or shadow my co-founder for a month, or shadow other people on the team, because you will learn by observation, and you'll pick up new insights or takeaways and things that someone might not have thought to teach you, but you'll see it and you'll realize it anyways. So I think books, YouTube, and talking to people.
Mm-hmm. What would be your advice for everyone who's investing these days, as a person who's deeply involved in the industry, especially in the current economic climate with tariffs?
Don't investing in stocks or investing in private companies or all of the
in
above.
general, what should we do with our money?
So
if I upload it, this question
really
to Lies.
Great TED Talk called Where Are the Missing Billionaires and Why Should You Care? And the reason why I like this TED Talk so much is because it starts out with this story that in the 1900s there were 4,000 millionaires. So not as many as there are today, but there's 4,000 people with $1 million or more. And if you had looked, and those 4,000 people had just invested their money in the U.S. stock market over a 100-year period, and they had kids at the standard birth rates, they paid taxes at the standard rates, they spent at the standard rates, there should be, based on their descendants now today, 125,000 billionaires. But there are not. There's 3,000 billionaires. So the question is where are all the missing billionaires? And it's all a byproduct of we as humans are really bad at financial decision making. We make short-term decisions, we try and chase the hot thing, we try and, we can't necessarily think about long-term compounded interest. And the correct thing to do with your money is to, if you care about multiplying it and leaving money behind for your children and their children and creating truly generational wealth, the right thing to do with your money is to invest in the U.S. stock market or a broad-based index, rebalance that index a couple times a year, consider taxes and fees, and try and optimize for taxes and fees, and just continue to contribute. And there will be ups and downs and volatility, but over a long period of time, that index will go up 8 to 10%. And if you compound every year, and if you compound it year over year over year, you will have, and continue to contribute to it, you will have a significant sum of money by the time you are ready to retire, the time you need the capital, or the time you want to pass it on. Rather than constantly doing what most people are doing, which is chasing whatever hot thing, whatever bucket of upside they think they can have in the shortest possible time. No one wants to get rich quick slow. Everyone wants to get rich quick. And getting rich slow is a sure way to get rich.
So S&P 500, basically, that will be your strategy.
It could be the S&P 500. It could be a combination of the S&P 500, and maybe you believe in emerging markets. You can build your own index based on what you care about. But the key is you want to get the value of diversification across whichever indexes you feel are, exciting. And I think you can take some specific bets. Maybe you really believe in AI and you'll overweight to AI companies, or you really believe in, telecommunications or space. Like, I believe in space. I think SpaceX is a great company. I think the space industry is going to be a huge industry. So I overweight a little bit of my portfolio to there. So you could take some, call it active bets in your index, because it'll keep life a little bit interesting. But for the most part, you want to index and you want to invest in a lot of companies and stay invested in a lot of companies over a long period of time and continue to rebalance and manage that index. It's a lot of what Wise does. I think that some people have the insatiable need to chase short-term gains and to chase the hot thing, whether it's AI or meme coins or whatever is exciting in the present time. But I think the idea is, for the vast majority of your money, you should have it in this long-term index.
So when asked, what should we do with our money? What should we invest in? He said, look at the US stock market or anything that you believe in. In his case, he believes in space. So you can create your own portfolio, diversify it. It could be stocks and bonds or crypto or whatever you decide. But the thing is, you have to manage it over time in a long-term index that compounds interest. So, and he also said, if you care about creating generational wealth, if you care about it, if you care about leaving something for your children and their children and their children, you can't just chase the hot thing. He said that so many times about chasing the hot thing, but getting rich slowly, he said, is a sure way of getting rich. Now that you've heard it from him, do you think this is something you can do?